You think artificial intelligence are going to take over,
No,
but
not at all. AI will not take over because there's a chance we are already AI. You see, the thing with your evolution thing is...
Some of the world's greatest mysteries include the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Were they real? What really goes on in the Bermuda Triangle? But more importantly, what are the KFC 11 herbs and spices? I have tried everything in my power to get KFC to tell me what the 11 herbs and spices are, but with no avail. So, KFC have changed the game and they've sent me to meet some people with their very own mysteries and try to get them talking. From crop circles to secret societies and many other mysteries, I've been sent to try and find out if these people can find a common ground which leads to the truth.
Hi, my name is Bitu Thomas. I am from East London and I believe that life is not a simulation, mainly because we are now in a technological phase, or something that I personally call a digital era, and I believe that in the next 100 years, man would find something else and jump on top of that.
My name is Luca, I'm from Bristol, and I believe that the world is a simulation. This is based on how fast technology has been advancing. I think soon enough we'll be able to have computers fast enough and powerful enough that we can simulate entire worlds, and there's a chance that we're in one.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Will Richards, back once again with KFC for some more KFC mysteries. And we're going to delve into some theories about reality, virtual reality, alternate realities. But before we do that, we're going to break the ice with some KFC questions. First things first, bucket or burger?
Bucket.
Yeah?
Yes.
What about you?
A burger.
You're a burger man?
Zinger, yeah.
Fillet or zinger?
It's a zinger.
Zinger?
Zinger.
You're a zinger as well?
I like a zinger.
Oh, getting on already. I like to see that. Hey, straight off the bat. Gravy or beans?
Ooh, tough. Gravy.
Yes, thank you. That's what I like to hear. You?
I'll go beans.
No! Unbelievable. I mean, they're both good, but gravy. Next up, we have bones or boneless?
Bones.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Boneless.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
Yeah.
It happens a lot today.
I eat the bones as well.
You eat the bones? You don't eat the whole bone, do you?
I do. I crunch and bite it.
Yeah, I can understand the gristle at the top and that sort of thing, but not the actual bone. Surely not the...
I do eat the bone.
Okay.
I've always eaten the bone.
Always.
Always.
Anyway, that's the end of those questions. We can move on to the next round. Are you ready for it? Mm-hmm. These ones are going to get a little bit more personal about your own opinions. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's get to it. What is your honest opinion about your opponent's theory?
Well, I don't think that life is a simulation. I am a big believer that Darwin's theory of evolution is the right way to go about it. I believe that humans are all part of the survival for the fittest. Our brain is one of those most amazing organs that cannot be replicated because of the neurons and the synapses that it forms every day. I don't think any of our emotions can be replicated in artificial intelligence. We've had different eras. We've had the Stone Age, we've had the Bronze Age where metals were made, we've had the Industrial Age where it was all about coal and steam, and right now we're in the digital era. Yeah. And humans are going to bounce forward and find the next best thing. So it's not going to be artificial intelligence taking over or anything like that.
Currently, in the digital age we're at, we're not capable of creating these complex things yet. And that's the thing. The next stage could be. I mean, if the trend between all of them is that as we go up through the ages, every single new invention has been to serve the interests of people who want money. And if you can simulate every single reality and everything, you can tell where the stock's going to go, you can tell what country's going to do what and when. It's the most valuable resource ever. And I think they're going to pour enough money into it that we'll end up with powerful computers that can do the simulation.
You think artificial intelligence are going to take over,
No,
but...
not at all. AI will not take over because there's a chance we are already AI. You see, the thing with your evolution thing is, so the way that AI works, so Elon Musk has been researching it, there's OpenAI, and what they do, they train this thing to get the best possible outcome. One of the things they just set it the simple task of walking somewhere. And instead of walking like a human, it came up with this weird method where it's using all of its limbs and all of its true potential. And that's exactly what evolution does. That's why we end up with such weird animals like the barrel-eye fish, where you can see its eyes through its head and stuff like that, because it's found the best way. It's gone a weird way about it. And that...
Is that the one with the thing?
That's an anglerfish.
That's the angler. Okay.
Okay, don't worry about
Yeah.
that.
What about emotions like love, hate, disgust? I don't think you can ever get a robot or anything that's artificial to have emotions.
And the way that you're looking at things is because you've seen robots now, And you're just probably thinking of like your sat nav or Siri or whatever. They don't have these proper emotions. But in the future, I mean, we've gone from Pong. Do you know what Pong is? The game from I don't know how long ago. Beep. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And there's a ball that bounces, and now we're able to have virtual reality. I mean, if we've progressed this far already, why can't we go much further? I mean, this thing of emotions and stuff, they can be reduced down to just probabilities. I mean, if we go to Schrodinger's cat, right? So that's the theory that there's something in a box, it's a cat, and there's some radioactive waste inside the box. And until you open the box, you don't know if the cat's alive or dead. And until you open the box, it's both. You've got the box, you've got the cat or whatever living being inside the box, and there's something that will kill this living being inside the box. And when you open the box, logically from the outside you can say, well, that cat, it will be alive or it will be dead. Those are the only two outcomes. But until the box is opened and you don't know, it's technically both. And that's how this series of probabilities and stuff and quantum mechanics and all of that stuff, that's how it's going to be able to replicate emotions and everything by going through all these different probabilities and
but
reactions.
Emotions are not black and white. That's the whole thing about love, hate, anger. Emotions are gray. They're not 1 and 0. Emotions are all those 0.99, 0.98, and everything in between. So the brain has all these neurons, and the connections that they make are called synapses.
Yeah.
And each person's brain is different. And we have 8 billion people on this planet? So that's 8 billion different brains, and how many more billion connections each?
Let's delve into another question.
Okay.
If life is a simulation, does that mean that free will is a myth?
I think you're looking at free will in a very conventional view, and it's the same as, if there's a God, do we have free will? And it's a massively philosophical question that I don't think is really...
You shouldn't get on to.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that won't be answerable, really. It's down to your personal thing, yeah. And within a simulation, I think as long as we think we have free will, we have free will. And it doesn't matter if we actually don't.
What do you think?
Of course we have free will. And I think freedom is the most valuable thing a human being can have. To be able to do what they want at whatever time they want. That's what we see in children. Children are very free. Of course, as they grow up, then they have to conform to the different social norms or cultural norms, etc. But yeah, of course we're free. I don't think there's anything controlling us from what we're doing.
Let's go on to a next question.
Okay.
Is the whole universe simulated, or is it just our planet?
It's probably just our planet, and that's one of the confines of, why haven't, if space is this final frontier that we got to the moon quite a while ago, we haven't been able to breach out into the wider galaxy and stuff, and that's because within a simulation is within a computer, and the computer that whoever is running the simulation has isn't powerful enough and doesn't need to calculate the whole galaxy. If we're never going to see it, why bother? I mean, for me, in terms of what I'm seeing, I'm not even rendering what's behind me. The simulation doesn't, or maybe it does because you can see behind me, but there's places in the world that no one's looking, which means that thing is not rendered, which means that there's going to be less resource management for the computer, and it'll be able to.
That's another theory, isn't it? If you can't see it, it's not there until you want to see it.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? No, you don't like that. No, glanced over, she was like, what are you talking about?
There's this guy called Nick Bostrom, and he wrote a paper, and in it there's 3 possible situations. One of them is the human race annihilates itself, and we never reach the stage of being able to simulate stuff.
Okay.
Possible. Number 2, we get to that stage, and for whatever reason, simulations just aren't interesting to us. We have the possibility of doing it, but we're just like, whatever, why would we want to do that? I think that's improbable, given how powerful knowing every reality would be. And the third one is that someone has already reached the stage of being able to simulate everything. We are one simulation. And they're not just going to run one simulation, because that one world could just be a fluke. They're going to run millions and millions. And the chances of us being the prime simulation is 1 in a million, possibly billion.
So his first theory is that eventually the human race will annihilate itself, or destroy itself, yeah? Yep. Okay, so that goes against what humans want to do. So all humans and all life form are born with the thing of survival of the fittest. So even if there was a nuclear bomb or whatever, there would still be humans hiding in some caves or underground that would still be able to come out.
So what you're saying is it's not possible for the humans to annihilate themselves, which leaves only 2 possibilities, and one of them is mine.
No, I don't believe in any of this guy's theories. I just believe that, you know, we've come here through evolution, through years of evolution.
Part of your evolution thing, I mean, you're reducing us just to our biology. And if you're saying survival of the fittest are going to be the people that can take over the world. I mean, that's what America and every you know, people have been doing it forever. I mean, arguably, not the best way to go about it, because you can create a total annihilation event through nuclear warfare and stuff. But essentially, through their drive to be the top dog, to be the apex predator, they are taking over things. And if creating simulations is going to be the thing that's going to make them top dog forever, no way anyone's going to surpass them, they will do it.
With respect to what you're saying, if it's just about money and power and everything, there's also the conscience that we have. There'll be somebody there that's good enough to be like, what we're doing is wrong.
Yeah, lots of people out there doing that. There's lots of people striving for peace. But when it's profitable for there to be war, there's too many people around the world to stop that.
So we haven't had a big world war since 1945, if I'm right. And the people with power don't want to have a world war because it doesn't serve them. You know, destroying whole sections of the earth. We only have a very...
Don't encourage them, will you?
Yeah,
they might watch this.
We have what, 30% of land on the whole of earth, and 70% is water. If you want to destroy, like, I don't know, 10 or 15% of that, what do you have remaining?
Loads of seals. Right, let's move on to the next question. Who do you believe is simulating us?
Realistically, I have no way of knowing, but if I had to just chuck a guess out there, and this is going to sound totally crazy, there's a thing called carcinization, where life forms from the bottom of the sea, from things that live on beaches to things that live in caves, loads of these things have, over years, have all ended up being essentially the same thing. That same thing is a crab, a king crab.
Right. So we're being simulated by a king crab.
More than one, right?
Yeah, sure.
I think you guys, as I said before, taking AI out the equation, because even though it's very, very relevant to what you're saying, it's just another theory. There are many other theories around technology. I think you're both on the same wavelength. And for that reason, obviously you can't shake hands at the moment. So what I'm going to need you to do, if you grab this side of the bucket, and you grab this side of the bucket, shake bucket. There you go. See, look at the smiles. That is it, the end of this episode. We'll be back for more very soon. But before we go, should we give the camera a wave? All right. This one, straight ahead, say bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much, bye.
See ya.